G'day and welcome back to my workbench. And look, we've got ships. Yes, it's ships. It's always ships on this channel. Except when I'm doing aeroplanes or spaceships or anyhow. Ships are the thing. Sailing ships are what I love. And these are a couple of, well, the Aoshima reboxes. Well, in fact, that one might be a Lee rebox of an old MA kit. Their 1350 series of these grand sailing ships. So, they're fascinating, and they're modern ones. They're like, well, modern for me. They're 20th century ships. They're not the old ones from the, the age of sail, like the Victory and the St. Louis and all those other ones I like to build, even the Bounty. These are 20th century ships, okay? But they still are sailing ships, and they're still grand, and they're very interesting. This is a very small scale, and I would never, ever have chosen this scale myself. But both these kits were gifts from my friend Bernard on my birthday many years ago. And I thought, 1350 scale. But actually, they're quite a joy to build. I was quite surprised. I've put wood planks on them. This one, I painted the deck, but I think the wooden planks here, these are wood veneer, look so much better. I've rigged them, although I used easy line on this one, and most of that easy line just evaporated. But they're not that hard actually to work with. I did cheat. I put photo etch rat lines on there. But honestly, they are a lot of fun. You can still get a lot of detail into them. And even with my fumbly fingers and my bandicoot eyes, I managed to get a result. But we'll just put these two little guys out the way. Because what you're interested in, if you clicked on the thumbnail, is Winston. Yes, Winston here. Now, this was a purchase last weekend at Model Club. And I mentioned that in last weekend's video and said, look, Model Club, I got this bloody Winston thing. And it's another 1350 scale Aoshima, so it's reboxed from the original MA, but it's an Aoshima, right? So we expect it to be good quality. The other ones are brilliant quality kits. We expect it to be a lot of fun. The only thing is, I didn't have my glasses on when I bought it. It's only 130 millimeters long. That's not very long. But I have it on good authority. It is a lovely kit. It builds up well. So we'll have a look inside this box. Let's get on with it. Roll the music. All right, Winston, let's have a look inside. Now, the instructions are really tiny lettering. In fact, I have to basically use a magnifying glass to read what it's all about. Just important things to do, don't glue your mustache, don't, start World War III or increase the tariffs, all those sort of normal things that no idiot would want to do, And you get a rigging diagram, and it sort of shows where the sails go and the rigging. Very basic, but actually it's doable. All that rigging is doable, and it's rather nice. So, Winston can actually look that good when it's finished. I'll just give you a brief look here. It's a foldy-outy thing, right? So, there you go. You've seen it now. And again, they go into some diagrams, things like that. The assembly is quite comprehensive. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff there going on the deck. The masts go into the deck pieces, and usually you do that before you actually put the decks on, although this only has one deck, so the other one's just sort of assembled all that up. Lots and lots and lots and lots of greebles and things, lots of stuff. That's the thing about these kits. They are well detailed. So you get all that done, and then you're into your mast, and straight away, here's your rigging. And they're basically saying, do it this way. Start here, run there, down there. You can do that all with one big long piece of string. It's just a continuous run. So that's rather clever. And here are your stays. These are your back stays. And then these would be basically your shrouds, right? If you could be bothered putting rat lines in. I don't know. I'll certainly put shrouds in. Rat lines at this scale. Rat lines are the horizontal thing, by the way. Most people think rat lines are the whole thing. Well, sort of. You talk about climbing the rat lines, but literally you're only climbing the steps. Right? So the horizontal things are rat lines. The big long bits, those bits of rope, they're shrouds. Yeah. So yeah, shrouded in mystery. And you've only got a few yards to put on because it's just a training ship, really, and they just had a few of these. So most of the sails are fore aft. Right? So there you go. And you've got the bottom bit, hull. You've got a prop, this thing had a motor, goes to its base, and then you can put on all those sails. Let's have a look at the parts, and we'll talk about things in more detail. Interestingly, Mr. Toys Tour World, where this was originally bought by whomever first bought it, $49.99. That's Australian dollars, of course, you know, so it's not worth much in the scheme of things. I only got it for 5 of those. Half a shekel, $5, not 50, 5. 1/10 the price, Mr. Toys. It is very small, and I've got the Nippon Maru here, right? And we can have a look. So that's 22 to halfway through a lifeboat, add another 6, 28 centimetres, 280 millimetres long, right? Nearly a foot. So that's the size the Nippon Maru was, which is a nice little size for a little ship like that, okay? So that's not too bad. The Amerigo Vespucci, a little bit shorter, but not much. And already I'm looking here at the hull, and oops, yes, it's 12, what do they reckon it was, about 13, 12 or 13, so there's a bowsprit to go on it. So yes, it is quite tiny, but that's okay, that's okay. Right, there is, on the back here, I didn't show the back page before, there is your part list, so you can see where all the parts are. So yeah, they're numbered. I don't know if they're numbered on the sprues, we'll have a look, can't remember. Usually it's not hard to find things anyway, it's pretty, well, I know ships, so for me I just find stuff. So let's have a look through. You get the fact form of sails. Now I'm not a huge fan of these, but probably on something this small, especially this one's mainly for aft sails, right? Triangular ones, right, all the way along, and trapezoidal ones, right? So those are the ones that are sort of, you know, along the axis of the ship, as opposed to when you have these ones, right? These ones which go on yards, right? And they basically billow out, and they're tangential to the direction of the ship. So you've got all of those to play with. They should come up well, even though it's not my favourite thing to do, but there's a tiny bit of detail on them, or is that just... No, I think that's just styration for the printing. I don't know. I can't see anything these days. But it will look impressive all that sails out. Got the hull here. Kit came fully sealed. That's why I didn't get to open it before I bought it, because it might have put me off, but I'm glad I didn't, because really I've heard so many good things about this kit. So that will be your lower hull, right? And so that's basically how it's going to be. So that's quite good. You've got some tiny little things there. I don't know, is that props? Yeah, tiny little props and things. And that could be a rudder. Yeah, it's very little. This sprue, or this bag, you get flags. So this is rather nice. We've got lots of flags. So we can flag the sucker up. Yeah. Have any country we like. Any country at all. Any country except, I don't think it's Australia. No. But we can certainly put a number of flags on it, which sometimes it would display quite a few, because it's a training ship and it's sailed all around the world. Came out in the 60s, actually just after Winston died, you know. They put down the keel about a year or two after he died. And then a few years later, it was commissioned. Now, this sprue. So this gives you an idea. That's the deck. Right, so there you go. There's your deck. Right. So it's tiny, but we'll see. Usual sort of stand, and the base was over here. So masts, well, your masts are all a good size. They're probably about not much different in height to the ones on my other ships. So they're good size. They'll paint up nicely. And you've only got a few yards, as I said, right? So you've just got booms really to hold the staysails and all the spankers and everything like that, and the tube and all the rest of it. All those kind of sails, triangular ones and trapezoidally ones and all the rest of it. And they just go fore aft, as I say. Not big on that kind of rigging. Don't know a lot about it. If I've called them the wrong thing, let me know. Oh, could have used these for the warspite. Those are rather nice. And those of you that worry going, hang on, Harry, this is not the warspite. No, the warspite's coming. I've had a big week of 3D printing rat lines for the Constitution. Yeah, that fought me all the way. But as you see, there's lots of little fine details in here. So look, even a ship's wheel, can you see that? It's just a tiny little thing there. Ship's wheel. So it's rather good. So, and you get a good little nameplate. So there you go. Would originally had the MA logo on it, probably. Maybe, you know. Looks like a bit of a gunnel or something. Something going on there. Could be. Should read the instructions, Harry. Need to know what's going on. So that's basically all of the parts. So let's sort of have a bit of a dry fit and see how it looks. Let's see how she goes together. I've got a few bits here sort of pre-assembled. There we go. So there you are. bit of a dry fit sort of thing. I glued a few little bits and pieces together, but she's not really that big, is she? Interestingly, I haven't cleaned anything up really. That's just the part that came straight off the kit. And here I just cut the nubs, did not clean up the sprue points, right? But it is so brilliantly engineered that that clicks straight in there. Those little nub points hide inside, as long as you cut fairly close, you know. So you're ready to go. You don't really have to do much cleanup. These are clever little kits, and they're lovely little kits. And the deck just basically fits straight in. They're just brilliant little, well-fitting, lovely little kits that you can still do a lot too and have a lot of fun with. And, you know, they really need it. At this scale, you don't want to really be mucking around trying to scratch build too much. Having said that, I did do some scratch on the Amerigo Vespucci. On the Amerigo Vespucci kit, in the same scale from them, the this part here, which is like the bridge thing, it was just too tall and too fat and too horrible. And I actually ended up scratching my own. Mine's a lot less. It's also cut through. See, you can see there's holes in it. So I actually built the whole thing up. I designed it, I think, in paper first, and then I scratched it up. And similarly at the stern here, this little area, they've got this part, right, which goes all the way down the deck. But when I look at the photos of the real ship, it actually doesn't. It has just a little platform area there, and the deck goes right in. So I ended up scratching all of that. So all of that in there, that's me scratching again. And it's seamless, like all the little scratch parts that I've done, they're seamless. So that was good. It was good that I could add just a little bit of my own, you know, scratchiness. As you can see, it is still dry fit and everything's falling off. Oh, blow spritz off. Goodness me. Avast me matey. So Winston looks like a fun little kit. It's well engineered, it's rather sort of quirky and interesting. There's still a lot to do. I mean, you've got all that rigging to do and the sails to add on, so, you know, keep busy. And there's, look, all those little holes on the deck there. Things go in there, so there's lots to do. It's a fun little kit, and even with someone like me with failing eyesight and my hands are getting so fumbly and wobbly over the years, I'll still be able to do that. I mean, I had just a blast gluing a few little parts and dry fitting that together then. It's just, they're lovely little kits, these. So if you see the 1-350 range from Aoshima, or even the original MA or the Lee Reeboks, consider them if you like sailing ships, because it's worth doing at least one, because they're not as finicky as you think. You think, oh, the scale's so tiny. Actually, they're a lot of fun. So that's my quick look at Winston. Oh, you did get a roll of this. Now, this looks like MA. This is like a little MA reel of cordage. If you ever find MA cordage, don't throw it away. The stuff is simply brilliant. It's like handstead. You can't get it anymore. Not that I know of. It is fantastic. And this does look like it. It's very clean. It's the kind of reel, although no MA logos on there. But Aoshima, I think, took a lot of the MA logos off for their Reeboks. Doesn't matter. Still a great kit. Still a lot of potential, a lot of fun. Don't know if I'd plank this one with little wood veneer planks, because there's just too many greebles and things on the deck. It's not even worth it. I'll probably just do the same thing as I did over here on the Nippon Maru, and I'll just do a nice little paint job and sort of mark out little planks and things. It's a lot of fun. Whichever way you approach it, these kits are fun, even though they're tiny. So don't think, I'll never be able to do that. Well, of course you can. It's really just build it to the level that you're capable of. You know, only ever rig a ship to the level that you're capable of. There's people that go berserk and they put tons and tons of rigging on tiny ships. It often looks stupid. It really kind of looks cartoonish, because you can't get down to the fine thread size. It's just about impossible at scale. You know, I've seen it in warships too, where people rig all the lines and everything. Yeah, lovely, good work, it's very clever, but it's way over scale. And it, honestly, you put enough so the ship looks rigged, but not so much that it looks cluttered and it's just going to collect a whole lot of dust and you're never going to be able to clean it. That's my thoughts anyway on the subject. Anyhow, look, if you enjoyed this video, it's only a short one, it's only a little ship, then please hit these buttons down below. The buttons are, you know, tiny, minuscule, and I was going to say dwarf. I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore, are we? No, little people. Yeah, that's all we can say. I don't think we're allowed to use any of those other words anymore. I don't know how botanists go with dwarf shrubs and everything. Probably allowed to call them little people shrubs now. Oh, it's just, hasn't all this political correctness got absurd? Yeah. Anyhow, after that, if you're still here and you'd like to help me out, you can always buy me a curry. A lot of people have been buying curries lately, and it is very welcome. And I thank all the curry buyers because, yep, stop me starving. It certainly has. All right, well, there you go. My patrons and my YouTube members and my subscribers, you requested Winston. So Winston it was this week. And I think he's quite a fun little kid. He really is. So there you go. All right, it's goodbye from Australia. And it's hooroo from Harry Houdini. Bask, you want to play with these ships, put them in the bath? No, they're not the kind of ships we put in the bath, Bask. Yeah, I'll get you a fish. Yes, we'll get you a fish. All right, I'll feed Bask, and I'll see you later. Bye.